Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. I think, you get another opportunity, and, we're really thankful for this opportunity. I think our big focus is to be us. We have a phrase that other people try to beat us. We are questing to be us. And we didn't think we played to our identity the way we'd like to yesterday. And so that's going to be our number one focus is first, when are we at our best, and can we all be counted on to execute the scout and be at our best with the things under our control, one game at a time. And we're going to really recommit and focus in on that first. Secondly, with Richmond, they are just tremendously well coached. Their ability to move without the ball, to shoot the three, to push in transition, and if they don't get something in transition, go late into clocks. I mean, they know who they are. I think it's the number one key for us is going to be ball pressure and chasing them off the three-point line. That's no secret. They're going to know that, but it's easier to say and hard to do. And so, but if we want to have another chance to be 1-0, we're going to have to do it and find a way to do it, and they're going to challenge us to that end. We're excited for the challenge. I'm hoping this place is packed and there's going to be this intensity in the air, and I love it. And so can't wait for the challenges that Richmond's going to bring us, and I can't wait for our team to compete to be us.
Questions for the players first.
Tuke Nguyen with the LA Times for Gabs. What do you think JB has added to this team that you guys really needed to kind of take this next step? Last year was a great year as well, but now to take this next step and achieve as much as you guys have.
JB is a great player. She's super talented, super athletic, and I think she brings a great energy on the court, and we really feed off of her, and the way she rebounds and jumps so high to grab those boards and fights down there is really huge, and the level of physicality she brings is really important to our team, and so it's just been great to have her on this team this year.
Just to follow up, she's been a star in her own right at Texas A&M, so to have her be selfless enough to come into this program that's already doing well and kind of star in her own role now, what does that say about her just as her mentality?
Yeah, she wanted to be on a winning team, and that's what she got here at UCLA, and so we were just super excited when she committed here because we knew what type of player she was, and she did great at Texas A&M, and she wanted to, take it to the next level for her next level in her basketball career as well, and she knew she would get that here at UCLA with the skill development and playing with great players, so it's just been fun to see her growth and her commitment to her role on this team.
Haley Sawyer, SoCal News Group. So now that you guys are on break, just how does it feel to really focus all of your attention specifically on this and what's happening right now?
Yeah, I know Gabs is super happy. Yeah, we're super happy to be done with school. I mean, it's just, obviously being a student athlete is not easy. So I think just, finally being able to just focus on basketball and obviously to add to that, the weather's super nice. It's just great vibes right now. So we're just super happy to just be competing and just experiencing this to the fullest and, not having to worry about school. So it's been great. Yeah.
The best spring break ever.
Ever.
Greg Beecham with the AP for both of you guys. You're finishing up this last game of the year at Poly. You're finishing up a second straight season where you lost one game at home. And what has this meant, and what does it mean to establish the home court like the way you guys have, and what will it mean to go out tomorrow hopefully with one more win?
Yeah, we love playing at Poly. Obviously playing at home is super fun, and to see the abundance of fans come in to support us has been great, and just to see the growth of the fans that come in consistently to watch our games has been amazing, and I'm just super thankful for everyone that comes out to watch. And I was telling the team, I'm like, last year when we played Creighton in the second round, it was probably the loudest I've ever heard Poly till that time, and I felt the energy with the fans yesterday. It's just everyone's so excited with March Madness. They're cheering even louder. So it's just been so fun, and I just love that we get to host two games.
Yeah, I think it just speaks to the talent of this team. I mean, people are just so excited to watch us, and we're just, like Gab said, super grateful that all the fans want to come out. I mean, yesterday, just like walking through the gym, as soon as we got into Poly, all the fans are cheering for us, and we just really appreciate that. So.
Cori said the goal is obviously to be yourselves, to be us, as she said. Having said that, they do have one player on that team who is a difference maker, Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, a top perimeter player in the league. What do you think of Maggie Dugan, and what's the key to shutting her down?
I think just coming out with like a mentality that we're just not going to let them get what they want. Obviously, they're a really talented team, great players, but I think that, defensively, we just really have to lock in, and we're going to prepare the best that we can today. And just, I think when we really put our minds to it, I think we can, lock everyone up, but we just really need to show out tomorrow and focus defensively. So.
Joe Puchowski, Mighty Bruin, up for Gabs. Your brother played here. They came real close a couple times. They fell a little bit short. They didn't get to hang the banner here in Pauley. I know we're 3 weeks away from that possibility, but what would it mean to you in the family to be able to do that and do something that your brother didn't?
Just still focusing one game at a time, and super proud of my brother's career here at UCLA. He did great. I loved supporting him, watching his games with him and his teammates, and to see him succeed in the NBA has also been great. But I know that coming to UCLA, everyone's goal, and everyone when they go to college, is to win a national championship. So that would just also be just truly amazing. But right now, just focusing one game at a time and preparing for the win tomorrow.
Were there any finals that really that were you're most excited to be done with, class-wise?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
All of them. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any particular classes you liked or this quarter?
I really liked my Social 180 class. Shout out my professor. She's great. I love her. I think honestly, what stood out about her is that she's just so helpful through all the travel. She was just she gets back, she responds right away. Shout out to her. Seriously, great professor.
Yeah. I had a really cool professor in my Social 111 class. He was super cool, and I remember coming up to him in the beginning of the year. I'm just I'm going to be traveling a lot, and he was just good luck. And when I gave him my final, the test, he was just good luck, with the start of the tournament coming up. So definitely appreciate the supportive professors, but it is nice to have a spring break to just focus on basketball at this time.
Lauren, I don't know if you saw, but yesterday I was watching TV and I saw the AT&T commercial you did with Kiki. Did that reach you yet? Have you seen it?
I saw it.
Oh, what do you think of the commercial now that it's out?
Yeah, honestly, I think Kiki and I did a really good job acting. We killed it.
Sure.
I thought we killed it, Oscar, nominations. Yeah.
Oscars, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. No, I thought it was really funny, and it was just a really great opportunity, and me and Kiki are really grateful that we did it. It was funny. Yeah.
I know you probably did that before the school's year started, obviously, but what's it been like handling that kind of stuff? You also have to play basketball, you have to take your finals. There's a lot of things going on in your guys' lives.
It's just communication and scheduling and trying to make sure that through all of it I still find time for myself. I think that's the most important thing. But I've been communicating a lot with Coach Cori and her assistant, and just making sure that we plan things so that I'm not driving myself insane. But no, I'm really grateful for everyone that's been helping me through all of this year, because it has been a lot of times, but we managed to find a way to balance everything out. So.
Lauren, can you give us some context for the photo with Adam Sandler?
Basically, yesterday we went to Terrace, right? Which is a really great breakfast spot. Shout out Terrace. And Adam Sandler.
She wants an NIL deal.
Yeah,
with
no, I
Terrace.
do. Yeah, please. But no. So my family, we just love Adam Sandler. He's legit our favorite actor of all time, and all of his movies are our comfort movies. So when we were just sitting there talking, I was actually talking about it on the way there with Coach Shane. I'm like, what if we see Adam Sandler today? We're all sitting there, and all of a sudden I see him in the corner of my eye, and Sienna's screaming. My dad, before we even get a chance to stand up, he's already over there taking a picture with him. He was so happy. But yeah, it was just super cool, and obviously it was just a crazy experience. I can't believe I met him. So yeah.
They invited him to the game.
Yeah, we did. So maybe we'll see him. Who knows?
obviously, coming to UCLA, playing basketball here, both of your goals are probably to eventually play in a WNBA. What would you be looking to want? What would you want to do if professional basketball, isn't in the future? You guys are upperclassmen now. You got to be thinking about the future a little bit, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, dang, that's so sad. Oh my God, I can't. So if we're not playing basketball,
Yeah, what do you want to do after the ball goes flat, whenever that is?
when the ball goes flat, I do want to work with athletes one-on-one. So my dream job is to be a sports therapist. So that's what I want to do. But yeah, I just think especially at the college level, I think working with athletes one-on-one, especially through having our own experiences, just being able to work with athletes and obviously having someone for athletes to talk to who have experienced it on their own. I think that's really important. So yeah, I think that's.
No modeling?
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah. But yeah.
For me, I don't really know exactly what I will do right after basketball. Hopefully something in the sports realm. Yeah. And maybe end up teaching along the way. I think that would be fun. But I definitely want to work in sports, but don't know what yet.
We got time for one more question for the players. Looks like we're done. You're dismissed, players. Thank you.
Just made me feel old.
No stress. You have another year. It's okay. We got you. Get him to queen of the court.
Questions for Coach?
Cori, I know all of the Nike teams are wearing their Nothing Easy shirts, but you guys have something special on the back. Can you kind of share what that means to you guys?
Yeah, we over me, and I think it's so easy to do that. But I think one of the things that we had to hold the mirror up to when we lost to USC at home was somehow along the way, with all of this talent, we let sort of seep in a little bit that we're only playing for the letters on the front of the jersey, and trusting that when you play fully committed to only the play on the playing for what's on the front of your jersey, that usually it comes back to the letters on the back of your jersey tenfold. And I think we had to. Charlize Ledger-Walker said it in our meeting. We're not a selfish group, but we lost track of that for just a second, and it cost us. And I think it's a symbol of our commitment that we are going to choose we every time. Every game, it may look different. I told them in film today that even against Richmond, we may play some different kind of lineups because of the challenges that they are going to create for us. And we just have to be committed that next woman up, and the phrase I've use all the time is sometimes you, sometimes me, always us. And if you want another chance to be 1-0 again, then that has got to be paramount. And so we over me is the symbol of reminding ourselves what we committed to.
Coach, what did you see on the film from last night's game that you mentioned earlier that you didn't really play the type of game that you would have liked to have played? What would you like to see from the team?
I thought we were much too lackadaisical in executing the game plan. Coach Tony did such a good job of talking about this team is top 3 in the country in forcing teams into turnover situations, and they do it by making you dribble into tight spaces. And 8 of our 17 turnovers came from dribbling into tight spaces. And, there's a lack of concentration there. I showed a clip okay, how are we supposed to be defending on these sideline out-of-bounds plays? And they could tell me the answer. But when I showed them the clip, we weren't executing that. And, we have to, all of us, we are very, obviously we have a lot of weapons, and we probably have a higher margin of error than other teams. But I even showed them a clip that was awful, but they just weren't good enough to take advantage of it. And that's what it means to be us. We can't be okay with that. We ended up getting the stop, but it wasn't because we did our jobs. It wasn't because we were trustworthy to execute what we committed to each other. We were going to execute. And, I think we have a great a really good team to self-evaluate and to have good self-awareness and say, no, I got to take ownership of that. I got to take responsibility for that. And I think we'll turn it right away. And I expect to see it in our practice right now and see it executed in the game much better tomorrow. But those are a couple examples of what I mean about being trusted and depended on to be us and to do your job.
Speaking to the selflessness again, I'm sure when you go through recruiting, that's like a big thing you look for. And
Yeah.
like, I'm sure there are a bunch of talented players that you've seen that maybe they don't fit that
Agreed.
part. Like,
Agreed.
How difficult, like how high of a bar is that in terms of what you're looking for?
It's really high. It has to be, because the more talented players that we have joining our team, the riskier it becomes. Because there's only 200 minutes in a game. And I'm trying to look for all the players to come into this with an abundance mentality. And what I mean by that is we are not just here to get the most minutes and to play the biggest role. We're here to have the most impactful growth experience. We're here to have a transformational experience that pays dividends long after the ball goes flat. And there are abundance of those opportunities. And I'm not saying this is easy. What gets you is when you have a scarcity mentality, because scarcity mentality says, hey, there's only 200 minutes in a game. And if you get more minutes, that means there's less for me. And that's very easy to have sift through. Why'd I get taken out? What happened there? Or, how come you have that? If you bring out the scorecards, right? And so when I'm recruiting, if I hear a hint of that, we'll back off. It has to be that you are committed to our mission. And our mission is to be an elite basketball program that teaches, mentors, and equips young women for life beyond UCLA, to create an uncommon transformational experience for every young woman that comes here. And that isn't for everybody, because it is hard. If it was easy, a whole lot more people would do it. And you mentioned, Janiyah earlier, and that was all of our conversations. Like, do you know what you're signing up for? Like, what are you going to do when? How is this going to be when you're not Batman anymore? That there's a whole lot of them and there's a lot of Robins. And are you willing to be a star in your role, whatever that ends up being? And I am very impressed. Has it been easy? No. Has it been perfect? No. But her commitment to grow into that space has been remarkable. And I really appreciate her awareness, her willingness to grow in ownership, and her willingness to put winning and development and growth above individual accolades and spotlight.
Greg Beecham with the AP. What impresses you about Maggie Dugan, and does she compare to anybody you faced in the Big Ten?
Hobbs maybe at Michigan comes to mind. I hadn't thought about it as much, but very impressed with her. Her quickness of her release and her shot, you can tell her basketball IQ is really high. I cracked up at her mom watching from way up high, and her mom was such a kudos to her. Obviously a great coach, but great player also in her own right at LaSalle. And so I just think her, that system really puts her in a great position to showcase her versatility, her ability. I looked at 8 seconds left. They have the ball out on the side. They're going to her. How the creativity of her to be able to create scoring catches in different ways, attack off the bounce, shoot the three, second cut, her movement without the ball is remarkable, which puts her in great positions to be, to have really efficient scoring catches. I mean, they are the most effective field goal percentage team in the country. 100% percentile in the analytics report we got today. And a big part of that is her decision-making and her ability to not only be a great, versatile scorer, but also to make her teammates better in the process as well.
Coach, it's pretty well known that you were a big fan of Coach Wooden.
Yeah. Life-changing. It changed my life.
What's your favorite lesson from Coach that you've tried to instill in the team?
I think my favorite lesson is different depending on what season of leadership I'm in, in terms of that. But I'll tell you, honestly, I wrote this in my prayer journal this morning. May I define success the way Coach Wooden taught me, even in the midst of this March Madness run. And I think that doesn't make us less competitive, it makes us more competitive. But may I always remember that he had taught me that I'm not coaching people's jump shots, I'm coaching people's hearts. And he always said, too, though, if you coach their hearts really well, usually their jump shots end up pretty good, too. But he always cared more about impacting their lives than impacting wins. And the great news is when you really do that selflessly and consistently, and you have a high attention to detail, it ends up impacting winning too. But honestly, literally my prayer this morning was that I would be somebody that stayed mission-minded and maintained perspective, even with the most stakes and the highest pressure, just like he taught me. And funny, he won 10 national championships in 12 years, so it obviously works.
Any more questions for Coach? One with Tukni.
This is the first time the women's basketball tournament gets units.
Right.
So, like, what is... I know this is something that's like been very long overdue for you in the
Correct.
sport, but just now that it's finally here,
Yeah.
what's kind of your takeaway from it?
I was the one Division I coach actually that was met with the Kaplan law firm every single week during that process, and so I learned a lot. I really was very ignorant until that point. And realizing that we don't desire to slice the pie differently and take any resources away from anybody else. That I am the biggest men's basketball fan, March Madness wise, you're going to find. But it should be that we have equal opportunity to be an asset, to grow the pie, to influence corporate sponsorship at levels that as our eyeballs have gone up, our engagement has gone up, and all of those things. And unit distribution is a really important thing because just think about all the pressures on universities right now. I mean, with rev share, with cost of attendance, with all these things that have come in the last 8 to 10 years. I mean, I cannot imagine being a president of a university or an athletic director. It is really challenging times. So if you have the women's basketball and men's basketball gets units for their performance, and that comes back to you for investing in them, and women get nothing, even though the media rights deals are going up, even though the eyeballs are going up, even though the attendance is going up, with all this pressure, where do you think they're going to continue to invest? Men's basketball. This was a really important shift, and we're just the beginning, that we're saying, no, we want to be an asset, so we want you to be encouraged to invest in our asset that is going to bring a return. And unit distribution is one of the ways that can bring a return on investment, as well as the media rights, as well as attendance, as well as corporate sponsorship. But this is an important piece because you're saying, okay, we're at a new point in our system, and they now have the opportunity to be a new revenue stream. And that's an important piece if we want our sport to continue to grow.
Coach, thank you for your time.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.